then, now, forever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the SummerSlam Countdown Show. We are live here in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you for joining us as we are kicking down and we're counting down the moments to the biggest event of the year is SummerSlam 2025. And we got a huge lineup that's going to take place here tonight. But before we get to that, look at the beautiful city of downtown Cleveland. And we cannot believe that we are finally here. But here comes the architect, Seth freaking Rollins, who will defend his title here tonight against Drew McIntyre. And you heard the stands for the Cody Rhodes, for the American Nightmare, taking on Roman Reigns. And there you see it, Carlita, who defends her women's title against Nia Jax here tonight, here at SummerSlam. But ladies and gentlemen, look at the view here tonight as we got the crowd piling in here inside of the Cleveland Browns Stadium for SummerSlam. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be one hell of a night here tonight here at SummerSlam, guys. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2025 SummerSlam Kickoff Panel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally here at SummerSlam, and we are just less than 30 minutes away from the show. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my panel guest. Please welcome one, the only, Pat McAfee. What's going on, buddy? Look, I'm just so glad to be here. I'm just excited to be here. SummerSlam, we're here in the Cleveland Browns Stadium. How better can that be? DWC ready to rock and roll here tonight? We're ready to put on a show here in the Cleveland Browns Stadium. All right, that's exactly what we finna do here tonight, as this is gonna be one heck of a night, guys. This is gonna be one crazy night, as we got many championships that's going to be on the line here tonight that's going to be defended. Not only that, our main event is going to be the Undisputed Championship, as Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner will get his opportunity against the Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. That is our closing main event match here tonight. And not only that, let's take a look at what we have here tonight, here for our lineup. First, ladies and gentlemen, we got the United States Championship, as Carmelo Hayes will be defending his DWC United States Championship against Damian Priest. Who will walk out as the United States Champion? Will it be Carmelo Hayes, or will it be El Caprione, Damian Priest? That match is still to come later tonight. And now let's move on to the women's side, as we have the Women's Championship to be defended, as Nia Jax will get her opportunity after winning the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match to get her opportunity here at SummerSlam. She's finally finna get it, and she's going to go up against a 17-time Women's World Champion, Carlita Cortez. Carlita's to defend that championship against the irresistible force, Nia Jax. Who will walk out as the Women's Champion? We will see between both these two incredible athletes. And next, we got the Intercontinental Championship, as Bronson Reed will be getting his rematch against Ilya Dragunov for the Intercontinental Championship. Bronson Reed was one of the most dominant Intercontinental champions we had here in DWC until he lost the fate to Ilya Dragunov. But now he's claiming his rematch, and he's getting it here tonight here at SummerSlam. And now moving back to the women. Now we got the Women's World Championship that's going to be on the line here tonight, as Rhea Ripley will be going one-on-one against the Women's World Champion, Charlotte Flair. We've seen both of these women return to DWC last year at SummerSlam, coming out after both of the ending of the women's matches. Not only that, now they're here in the present. Now they're going one-on-one for the championship, as Charlotte Flair won the championship from Nikki Cross on the first episode of 2025 of Monday Night Raw. And now she's going to defend it against the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. And now we got World Tag Team Championships that's going to be scoring on the line as the War Raiders to defend their year-long championships against A-Town Downs Under, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller. As this brand new tag team that's going to be on the horizon on the Red brand, they are looking to see if they can stop the dominance of the War Raiders. Can that be it? Can they seek the fate for the War Raiders here tonight? We will see. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we got the World Heavyweight Championship that's going to be on the line as Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Warrior, has invoked his rematch clause here for SummerSlam as he is going to go up against Seth freaking Rollins in a rematch, the final rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. Can Seth Rollins stretch down this year-long championship after defeating Drew McIntyre last year at SummerSlam Detroit for that World Heavyweight Championship? Can Drew McIntyre walk out as the champion, or will Seth Rollins remain the champion here tonight? And now that brings us to our main event for the Undisputed World Championship as Roman Reigns to defend his championship against the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes finally gets his championship match against the OTC. That is going to be our closing main event here tonight, guys. Can Cody Rhodes walk out and win his first major championship here in DWC? Or will Roman Reigns walk out still the champion? That is all remained to see. And that is going to be going down here tonight at SummerSlam. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now as we're moving forward, but before we get on hand, let's talk about the Undisputed Championship, because Cody Rhodes, the 2025 Royal Rumble winner, is finally going to get his opportunity against Roman Reigns for that Undisputed Championship. Cody Rhodes has waited for this moment since January, since he won that Royal Rumble. And now we're finally here at SummerSlam, and now he's finally about to get that opportunity. Pat, how do you think Cody Rhodes is going to fare against this? Well, Kathy, I just hope Cody Rhodes hold his end of the bargain. Like I said, Cody Rhodes has a lot of fight in him, and I just really hope that he keeps the motivation, he keeps that adrenaline, like his theme song says. And if he keeps all that adrenaline inside, he will become the undisputed DWC champion here tonight. Well, I hope you're right, Pat, because if Cody Rhodes can keep that same energy taking on 30 other men, he can definitely do that with Roman Reigns, and he could become our undisputed champion here tonight. But also here tonight, guys, we will be having Seth freaking Rollins as he defends his World Heavyweight Championship against a year-long rematch for the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has been waiting for this rematch since he lost the match last year against Seth freaking Rollins. Pat, do you think Seth Rollins can retain that title after all the anger that Drew McIntyre has went through since losing that title? Kathy, Drew McIntyre is a beast to be reckoned with. And me personally, I feel like Seth Rollins still has it in the tank, and I'm not counting Seth Rollins out because he can do the impossible and walk out of here as the World Heavyweight Champion. But I gotta keep Drew McIntyre on the other side, because Drew McIntyre, he's pumped. He had a year long to get his adrenaline back and get that stamina back that he lost, that he didn't have last year at SummerSlam Detroit. So I feel like Drew McIntyre can pull this one off here tonight. So I think I'm going to pull with Drew McIntyre. Well, that's a pretty bold statement there. I'm so sorry, but I have to go with Seth Rollins tonight, as I think that's going to win. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really going to have to go with Seth Rollins here tonight. But it all remains to be seen here tonight. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this SummerSlam countdown continues. But let's take you backstage to our backstage analyst, Kathy Kelly. Thank you, Jackie. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the woman who is a 17-time Women's World Champion and a future Hall of Famer. She is the current DWC Women's Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, she will be defending her championship against Nia Jax here tonight. It's my distinct honor to give to you guys Carlita Cortez. Carlita, tonight, you will finally defend your championship against Nia Jax, who won the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. And now she has earned the right to challenge you for that championship here tonight. How do you feel going into this match against Nia Jax? And what is your strategy to hold on to that gold? And what will be your ins and outs on how to move around Nia? Because it's been a while since you took on Nia Jax. So how do you favor in this match? And how can you have a 100% success rate of going in and coming out as the DWC Women's Champion? Well, Jackie, I'm so glad you asked. Well, with that being said, I am so looking forward to facing Nia Jax. I cannot wait to face her. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to fight anyone. I will wrestle anyone that I come across. And if you know my track record, you know that Carlita Cortez, the Makiana, don't back down from any woman in this company. I take on anyone. And Nia Jax calls herself the irresistible force. You're irresistible to nothing to me, because I am the superwoman of the ring, and I'm going to fly all over you, Nia. So you keep talking your mess, and you keep running your mouth. Just because you won a little Royal Rumble doesn't mean that you're going to beat me. But tonight, I'm going to show you why I am the greatest women's wrestler of all time in this company. And also, to all the future women's champions down the line, I hope you see this, because take notes, because this is right here. This is what greatness looks like, baby. And all challengers are welcome. But first, I will start with Nia. And tonight, Nia, me and you one-on-one for my women's championship, it's only going to be one way in and one way out. But only that is for me. You only got one way in with no way out. Okay? Well, thank you, Carlita. Thank you for giving us an update here tonight. I'm so happy for you. You and Nia Jax went on for the Women's Championship. I see you already. You're getting ready. I don't want to take any much more of your time, so I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to get out of here and let you finish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Scottish Warrior, who will challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. Ladies and gentlemen, Drew McIntyre. Drew, tonight you finally get that rematch that you've been looking for. Are you confident enough that you can take back that World Heavyweight Championship here tonight against Seth Rollins? Confident. Really, Byron? Confident. My career was not built around confidence. And tonight, when I take on Seth Rollins to get back my World Heavyweight Championship, I will become the champion again. And when I step into that ring and that bell rings, I'm going to kick his head right off his ass. As you see, I'm furious, because it shouldn't have took this long for me to get my opportunity. But now that it's here, and Seth, you better pray that it's only your head that I take on the swivel tonight. All right, Drew McIntyre, thank you so much. All right, Jackie, Pat, back to you. All right, guys, we got more to come here for the SummerSlam 2025 countdown. We're going to be hearing from the challenger for the United States Championship, El Campeón, Damian Priest. That will be a little later on. Ladies and gentlemen, SummerSlam countdown continues when we come back. That world championship, Asuka still remains. Whoa! Whoa! Hold up! Whoa! It can't be. It's my eyes deceiving me right now. He's bloody, real, freaking Ripley. The Dark Nightmare is here at SummerSlam Detroit. Asuka has a devastating. Asuka wins the match, but what is it for? As you got the Dark Nightmare making her return here to DWC. And now she's about to approach the Women's World Champion Asuka. Rhea Ripley, a part of the Judgment Day. Mommy is home. Wow. SummerSlam is already kicking off. And it's already starting to be something crazy here tonight. We saw Bronson Reed remain the champion, and then now Rhea Ripley returning to DWC. What? Oh! But now she is attacking Asuka, and she hits her right there. Rhea Ripley just hit Asuka with her finishing maneuver, and she's looking like she's going for it yet again. Rhea Ripley just put the Women's World Champion Asuka on notice that she is ready for her. Wow. That was crazy. Rhea Ripley is back, and she is here at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley, whoa! Whoa! Here she comes. Miss Money in the Bank, Nikki Cross. Is she about to do what we think she's gonna do? Is she getting ready to cash in? Nikki Cross is here, and she must about to cash in on Asuka. This night just keeps getting better and better. Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Cross is cashing in her so she is contract. Nikki Cross is cashing in her Women's Money in the Bank contract. And look, and now she's attacking Asuka. The match is now started. Asuka is in a dangerous situation. Hold on, but Nikki Cross has got her up. And Nikki Cross hits it. We could see a new Women's World Champion. And she does it. Nikki Cross is your new Women's World Champion. Oh my goodness. SummerSlam just keeps heating up more and more. Rhea Ripley returns to attack Asuka and clearly gives Nikki Cross the advantage. And now we crown a new Women's World Champion here. Nikki Cross, look at her, the sinister Nikki Cross, just playing with Asuka here. After taking her title, after cashing in that briefcase. Oh my. Alright guys, still to come tonight as we got the Women's World Championship is going to be on the line as Charlotte Flair defends her Women's World Championship against the Nightmare, Rhea Bloody Ripley. That is going to be a cinema here tonight. It's a dream match we've always been wanting to see. Charlotte, Rhea, they're going to make magic here tonight, defending that Women's World Championship, and I cannot wait to put my money on Charlotte. Pat, who you got? I don't know. I really don't know. I want to go with Charlotte, but I gotta go with Rhea, man. I gotta go with Rhea, because Rhea's hot, and she's ready for it. She's ready for it, Kathy. She's ready for it. All right, calm down over there, Pat. So if you're going with Rhea Ripley, I'm going with Charlotte Flair here tonight. Hopefully Charlotte retains the Women's World Championship and make my prediction right. But ladies and gentlemen, let's move on as we have the #1 contender to the United States Championship, El Caprione, Damian Priest, standing by. Damian Priest, you had a gold opportunity here tonight here at SummerSlam as you was announced to face Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship match here at SummerSlam. How are you feeling, and how do you think you can come out victorious here tonight against Carmelo Hayes? Well, Kathy. All I gotta say is that tonight, El Capriano's gonna do what he always do, and that's go out there and that's dominate. Carmelo Hayes, he don't want this, but tonight he's gonna get it. He can run his mouth all he want. He can say everything he wanna say, but tonight, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to walk out as the new United States Champion. And I'm ready for it all. I just hope Carmelo Hayes is ready for it. Because tonight, this is Damian Priest's night. The return of DWC. SummerSlam, biggest night here in Cleveland. Here in the Cleveland Browns Stadium. So tonight, Carmelo, I hope you're ready. Because you will be wearing that championship for the very last time. And I'm going to just watch there standing right over you holding up that brand new United States Championship. All right, thank you, Damian. I don't want to hold you any longer. All right, guys, back to you. Well, guys, you just heard from the #1 contender, Damian Priest, as he will take on Carmelo Hayes for that United States Championship. But ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to tag team action as tonight we have the War Raiders defending their World Tag Team Championships here tonight as a year-long reign holding those championships. But beforehand, let's take a look at the War Raiders and how they developed themselves as being champions for over a year. Let's take a look. Out yet again. But Drew McIntyre, he is looking for it. He is looking for that Claymore. And a Claymore. He hits it. Will he remain the champion? Whoa! What? Look at Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was in disbelief. Seth Rollins just kicked out of the Claymore, and now Drew McIntyre is just snapping out. He just delivered everything he could to Rollins. And Rollins with a curb stomp. Rollins with the curb stomp. Could this be Rollins' moment? Could this be his moment? And Rollins defeats McIntyre for the world title. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins! Congratulations to Seth Rollins on winning his first World Heavyweight Championship. That was one incredible match, and you see the excitement. But ladies and gentlemen, you see the nightlife of Cleveland, downtown Cleveland. This is what it offers to you, and the DWC is so glad to be a part of this for SummerSlam 2025. And we want to thank Cleveland for allowing us to come into your town and give you a show here tonight. SummerSlam is going to be one hell of a show here tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take it down to the stage, because this is where our talent will be coming out right here. As you see, the stage is set, it's glorious, and it's ready for the superstars of this next generation to move the show forward here tonight. And I cannot wait to see what we got in store here tonight, especially for our main event. Roman Reigns goes one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Well, SummerSlam is still continuing as we are just less than a few minutes away from the show. But beforehand, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a special performance performing America the Beautiful, Anthem Lights. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are slowly getting there. We are about to kick off SummerSlam 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the countdown to SummerSlam. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you, and we see you on the inside. Thank you for joining us here on the panel. SummerSlam 2025 starts now.